charge a couple of years ago. All vehicles going into central London from London to Brighton. It's like they have the Mini Club here, because the Mini's just is no longer made in that style any longer. They've got a new style.
A gallon.
$9 a gallon.
These people are traveling back and forth to a seaside.
I know. But then your cars are twice the size.
That's right, yeah.
We go half a distance.
Yeah.
Alright.
Half the mileage.
Yeah.
Monument or memorial, and it's to Queen Victoria's husband. He was a German prince called Albert of Saxe-Coburg, and Prince Albert sadly died at the age of 42. So after fathering a number of children, Albert Memorial, it's rather a spectacular memorial to one man, isn't it? There he is, look, and if you look at him, there he is, holding in his right hand a book. It's a catalogue of the Great Exhibition of 1851, 10 years before he died. On that spot where his memorial now stands was a huge glass and steel palace called Crystal Palace, the world's first major expo, and it was his idea, and that's why his statue stands there. Built just before the monument, in fact. It was built in the late 1860s, again named after Albert, and it is one of London's major concert venues. In fact, it's used for classical music and contemporary music as well. It holds 7,000 people, and it is the second largest concert venue in central London, the Royal Festival Hall being the largest. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move off. Hold tight. That's great. In fact, last week, Eric Clapton was playing there a couple of nights, and so they have contemporary music as well as classical concerts, which the greatest season of classical music in the Albert Hall is in the one is called Harvey Nichols. That's just up ahead on the right, and just down to the right in a moment you'll see a glimpse of Harrods Department Store. Now Harrods Department Store is London's most famous PM Monday to Saturday. Now you know how. Along here we've got a very grubby looking building up ahead, and you'll know the Duke of Wellington is a great national hero. We'll see his tomb when we get into the crypt of St Paul's Cathedral later on. But when he defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo, he went on to become a politician in his retirement period. Was never popular, those delivered. But if you want to go in there, buy a jar of jam with the Royal Crest or Royal Badge on it, and get the carrier things. It's nice. You can also get afternoon tea in there as well. That's 400 Masons here in Piccadilly. So there's an idea. Coming up to the end of Piccadilly, this is the end of the street. It comes into a junction called Piccadilly Circus. Nothing to do with animals at all. It's all to do with being the hub of nightlife. And we call this area that we're coming into now the West End. We are, as you can see from any street sign that you view, in the city of Westminster. It's written in red along the bottom of every street sign, so you know where you are. City of Westminster. And the West End is right here ahead of us, the entertainment district. Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, Covent Garden, Soho, where Chinatown is, all interconnects here from this point onwards at Piccadilly Circus. So it's a great area to come. And like all of central London, it's perfectly safe to wander around. It's sort of, we don't have problems with wandering around in our city. There we are. There's Piccadilly Circus up ahead, and in the middle of Piccadilly Circus, we call him Eros, so he's in the middle. So we'll see that in a minute. You can see the Lyric, the Apollo, the Gielgud all up to the left in a big line. Obviously they're not all in Shaftesbury Avenue, but there's a good collection of London theatres up there. London, like New York, is the greatest concentration of the square because, of course, his statue stands in Leicester Square, near the booth where you get the... And up ahead is Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square, if you look on the left-hand side, has the National Gallery all along the... And it's where Temple Bar Monument, which is the entrance to the City of London from Westminster. Here we go. So we're going to leave Westminster now and drive into the 1 square mile. In the 80s, they've all moved out to Docklands, where there's much more space for the...
But if you look halfway up the round tower, the size of the stone and the shape of the stone changes a little bit halfway up. That's because in the 1820s, the height of the round tower was built. So this part of the castle is not really... But when we get up to the castle itself, to the main round lobby, like a new lobby area, just before you go through St George's Hall. Look out for the garden. That's what the guys have to wear on Garter Day. So when you come here where the entrance to the apartments are, but also the doll's house. Now, even if you're not into dolls' houses, this is well worth spending a few minutes having a look at, because that's the length of time it will take, just a few minutes. It's this 1920s country mansion house, 1 to 10 scale model. What John Kipling actually did. Coach Park, then we're going over again. To see you back there for a
Yeah, yeah. For my
Somebody must be eating one in the background.
I wonder if they got it from the sandwich room.
Maybe.
Forget about it. I could eat like 15 of those.
She's taking it. She's hurrying up on how you're being hungry.
That's the mother thing. That's it.
There you go again. Don't wait for me, just go, go! Okay, mister, let's go! Ok, como sempre, o Ronaldo se mandou na frente e me deixou atrás. Tá lá esperando a botarem as malas no ônibus. E aqui tá na frente do hotel em Brussels, chama-se Tulip. Não sei se dá pra ver, aí dá. Tulip é uma rua muito cheia de carros, busy. Então é isso aí. A minha carga. Esperando, eu vou ver se você consegue ver aí, ó. E tem, cadê Ronaldo? Se escondeu. Entrando ali. Então. Passageiros. Ai, Ronaldo, o vento tá bravo mexendo com a câmera. Okay, Brussels, goodbye. We're leaving to Holland, Amsterdam. Bonita pra caramba. É. Legal, legal. Aqui tá Ronaldo. Que avenida é essa, Ronaldo? Você sabe? Sabe o nome? Pois bem.
Boulevard.
Boulevard. Ok. Muito bom, muito bom. Não tive tempo de comprar meu chocolate. Ali tá o caminhão do concreto, pronto. Ah, lá se foi. É o Boulevard. Pera, o nosso ônibus e acabou.
If you look for crosses down below, they're coming up now in the Alps. Do you see them there? That's where the tombs are of the kings.
Where, Ronaldo?
And here on the right hand side now we have the gardens belonging to the residence of the king. This is Laken, L.A. And Giovanni, I'm sure, will slow down a little bit. Oh, piano, se possibile. Sì, e a sinistra, sì. There's the
Cadê?
entrance.
Aqui é a entrada do palácio, nas costas.
Aí.
Você perdeu o palácio, tá de olho no
Flags
palácio.
flying. Order come up already. The family open for visit and have a look around. It's an atom by way of. There it comes up. They've just redone it all. That's
Where?
bright and shiny. They were actually debating
Huh?
whether they should dismantle
A gente
it.
vai ver aqui.
But they left it, they redid it. They have exhibitions in there, there's a restaurant in there. There are different facilities.
Cadê, Ronaldo?
Tá vindo aí.
Where? Tell me when.
Ah, lá.
O que é isso mesmo?
And here we
Foi
go.
the World
Buses
Fair
turn
of
out.
Brussels, 1958.
Ah, aquele monumento que você sempre fala.
Counter that we had, I don't mind going.
Ali.
Well, I tell you, the Flemish people are thick-headed like nobody's business. They fight the war with Alexandria if it's not their own.
É muita árvore, tá?
It's unbelievable.
Dá pra ver?
It's like Giovanni just told me
Já
now.
passou?
Never mind, we had the police there. The
Tá atrás
policeman
das
was
árvores.
quite nice. I talked to him. Although the Belgian police are feared like nobody's business by their own people. I said we have no possibility. From France. We'll see the Charolais purebred in France because we drive through the area where they come from. But here the farmers all over the northern center of Europe crossbreed them because they have, by tradition they had Friesian or Holstein, and they serve for both for milk and meat. However, with the arrival of the Charolais, the meat was a lot leaner. It's a beautiful animal for me, but the Charolais has a problem calving. They lose too many calves. And that is why the farmers here started to crossbreed them again. They have the half and half. The much leaner meat, they don't lose.
That's okay, that's okay.
So it was like that scoop. Wait, I can do it.
A primeira parada saindo da Bélgica. Aqui já está na Holanda. Eu vou ser atropelada a qualquer momento. De qualquer forma, a Holanda está aí dentro. E aqui essa é uma parada na autoestrada. Tá meio feinho. Tem muita coisa não. Tem esse McDonald's enorme com um restaurante tipo São Lourenço, eu acho. Muita comida. O vinho aqui é mais ou menos, não está muito caro não. De qualquer forma, o guia nos falou que a cada 2h30 o motorista tem que parar para usar o banheiro, descansar por meia hora. É isso aí. Só uma amostrinha o que é um stop, uma parada de descanso na autoestrada Bruxelas, Holanda, Amsterdã. Dentro do McDonald's, Ronaldo já arranjou o velhinho para ficar conversando. That's one for you. Tá feliz, tá? Tá onde você queria. Faz lembrar São Lourenço, não é? Um pouquinho Itatiaia, só que é muito mais feio. O McDonald's, dentro do McDonald's. Isso aqui é... That's the one that never turns. It never ever turns. But I will, at the moment, yes, and firmly book it. Once I've done that, it will be gone for good, because I can't come back later and say I need 2 more places. That I will do tomorrow, and the rest then is on a page, okay? So what we are going to do this afternoon is this. As we travel to Amsterdam now, I have to ring the boat people to tell them that we're a bit later than advertised. We are going to do our boat ride. I will try and get them to bring you to the diamond factory, which is on our itinerary.
because Holland and Amsterdam in particular is the hobnob for diamonds. There's even a famous cut in Amsterdam. Gave way, and within a very short while, in the middle of the night, half the country was flooded. People drowned in their beds, in their sleep. So that is their major enterprise, to make sure that these dikes, the dams, hold. And they have a whole section of government set aside to do nothing but that. It's there. And he at this stage is a speaker because everybody takes notice. The Dutch have worked it out to perfection. What they overlooked was the Rhine, because the Rhine ends up here, and they are now paying full attention to the Rhine as much as everything else. And the Zuiderzee is their new land reclamation project. They have taken a vast chunk of the North Sea. In the 20s, in the 1920s, they pulled a dam right across a big section. Imagine you cut a line from Florida right across to get to terra firma again. And the whole section you cut out from the sea, that's what they're turning into land now. They're drying it up. That will be Holland in years to come. They couldn't close the dike. So that is what I intend to do this afternoon. Bring you to the Zuiderzee, to the fishing village of Volendam. And as I said, we'll have free time there. Then we go to the windmill, we go to the cheesemaker and to the wooden shoemaker. And this is all done in leisure. Okay? And you get a real taste of Holland outside of a big city, which Amsterdam is, with all that's going with it in Amsterdam. I told you about the drugs already, but let me tell you also that Holland is a forerunner on many things. Holland is the most liberal country that I've come across anywhere, because Holland also gives you the right to terminate your own life, determine the hour, voluntary euthanasia, that you can do in Holland. And I must say, all the reports coming back, as I said, I was most impressed. The relations also, the family, everybody is happy with that, because they do it in the best way possible. Then also the other thing going with Holland and Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a hobnob for everything. You get coffee shops for marijuana everywhere in Holland, but Amsterdam attracts everybody else. But also the other thing is about Holland, where else would you find the gay Olympics of this earth but in Amsterdam? You know, they have the laws boats. When it's hot, they come in their little string, you know, and that's all they have on them. Oh, it's a happy-go-lucky town, I tell you. Don't be amazed about anything you encounter. But bearing in mind the other thing also, Holland... No, I'm coming to my favorite subject. I grew up not far from the Dutch border, but nobody ever told me about this. I had to learn it the hard way. Dutch people, and I haven't seen any obviously Dutch name here, or is there anybody with Dutch descendants? And Dutch meaning Holland and not Germany. Plus the Rhine is ending up in many endings here. So they have their work cut out with saving the country from drowning. But what a way to gain territory for your country without a war, huh? Take it from the sea. as you saw, it also goes a little different. But you are landed in the middle of the city again when you come. And it's just as fast.
O trem vai passar por aí por dentro, Ronaldo? Hein?
Nothing of the government is here. No embassy is here. The Queen has left the palace. She only comes once a year when she receives the representatives of the different provinces of the Netherlands. And they all enter through a different door. But in The Hague you have the government, you have the parliament, you have the government, you have the second house, the upper house. You have the Queen there, a lovely residence just outside of The Hague. You have the International Court of Justice in The Hague, don't forget. So Den Haag, it's called in Dutch, D-E-N-H-A-A-G, Den Haag. And you call it The Hague. That's where the action is as far as politics is concerned. Amsterdam officially still the capital, and the word is put together by the so-called river by the name of Amstel, which is in fact bog water seeping out and forming a river before it runs into the sea.
I could, yeah.
To wood, when it stays in the water it's fine, but when air gets to it, it starts rotting. And that you also see because they made a drastic mistake around the area of the main station a few years ago when they built a new parking lot. And since then you have a few houses leaning to the side, a few more than they...
Houses that are that's what I said. A little barge platform. They did it in the US years ago.
Now we have entered Amsterdam, and I can actually show you the so-called Amstel River now because we'll be traveling alongside it in a few moments. This is often, this city is often compared with Venice. It's called the Venice of the North. It's not quite true. You will notice that when you come to Venice, because in Venice you have a lot less green, you haven't got cars running through. Everything has to be walked. The only thing that really is comparable are the fact that there are canals. Few paintings now in one particular corner. The canals in Dutch are called G-R-A-C-H-T-E-N, all of which, because this is a guttural language and you exercise on that, is called grachten. Grachten. It clears your throat. And if you have 88 nice canals, wonderful canals, it ends up like 88 prachtige grachten. That is even a killer for the likes like me. This is terrible. 88 is the one on the right hand side across the Amstel Hotel. That's where your room, your suite costs you well over 2,000 euros per night. Yes, exactly, that's the price of your trip. One night. And at that maybe the thing is not included, the breakfast. No, that's where they put royal guests, for example. That's where all the pop stars of this earth stay. It's
Continua filmando, filma embaixo do canal.
Se filmar só um pedacito de nada é ruim. Então é melhor. melhor fazer um pouquinho mais, uns 7 segundos eles mandam fazer.
Very expensive Dutch
Eu vou encostar
It's
aqui
a
um pouquinho, viu?
traditional form, I tell you. If you want to buy one in Germany, it costs a bit, and it costs a bit here. But you see, they're constantly recycled. You tie them to the post there, and you're not sure whether they're still there when you come back. Because if somebody else needs it, he takes it. At the Hotel Krasnapolski. Now, if you walk over to that, into that area, that's where you have the red light district. So what you do tonight is stop with the tram here at Dam Square, and you walk across there to the Krasnapolski. Behind that you are in the red light district and the oldest part of Amsterdam.
Hold on. Cuidado pra não bater em mim, Ana.
With 2 towers and 2 clocks. And look at the clocks carefully. One shows the time, the other one is going around like mad at the moment. That is the wind direction. You see, we are back with the home. Amongst others. Now we're coming to our low-rise runners.
It's the lovers.
Aí. Fica aí.
How you doing?
Sorry.
We got going for the daughter and the son-in-law.
Vento!
Germany continued.
It was standing there in two parts. So with an upswing of Gothic feeling in the 1800s, they joined the two together suddenly. It was built because one of the emperors of that once upon a time Holy Roman Empire of German nationhood, that was the official title, always deriving the power from the Vatican those days.
Cologne, Germany.
Yep.
And it was
Rhine
the empire
River.
extending from today's
I
Denmark
missed the cathedral
down to
though.
Sicily.
So
Now,
on the French side,
Giovanni and I, he brought the relics of the three magi. Remember the kings who came to adore baby Jesus? He brought the remains of those three kings to Cologne. You will have the golden shrine in the cathedral. You can see it. It's at the very other end in the apse. The shrine itself, a beautiful work. If you look at it, you have the masonry like lacework, all striving to heaven, high up. Suddenly that upswing after the Romanesque time, where windows, for example, you can judge best by, up to the 1000 around that time, you had the Romanesque style and the arches were low. No arches. These are all. The later the Gothic period, and you will see Notre Dame in Paris. It is earlier, it's not as refined as this one. This is more like lace. But it's the same style of building. Because suddenly people forgot about the hardship of life on earth. They seem to have been toiling and crouching to the ground. That's the impression the Romanists carved out of wood by Stefan Lochner. That might mean nothing to you, but he's famous on the continent of Europe. There is his altar carved out of wood and gilded. That is in one of the side aisles, namely the left one when you come in, and on your way. I'll wait now until we stop. Because we have to go past the station yet. We are still appointment where I meet you. And that will be, you see, Kamps is closed here at the corner. But I will meet you here.
Isso é Cologne. Nutty person. Porra, a mulher me quase que me derruba. Hein, pessoal mal educado, pera. Eu trago, I can zoom it in. A Copa do Mundo tá tudo que é lugar, meu Deus do céu. Tudo que você possa imaginar sobre o Brasil você consegue nessa cidade. Não me empurra não, não me empurra não, vai indo, vai você com cuidado. Bye, Ronaldo. Bye. Go. Naldo. Naldo. Paps, paps, tá frio. Cologne. Cologne na Alemanha. Grupo de turistas ali resolvendo o que vão fazer. A igreja de Cologne. Of the top of the wall come up. But during the time of the Crusades, now we are going.
Lá da frente pra cá.
Full of people in there. My goodness, full of people. See all the people? Well, that's a reflex. What did she say?
Let's go.